Preliminary stage of prototype. Before building a prototype, we check the working process of all our components. Instead of the two-wheeler, we have used a DC motor. Now let us see how our components work. The IR sensor, which is to be fixed in the helmet, is now directly used to sense the objects. Whenever the IR is not sensed, it monitors to wear your helmet. When the IR gets sensed, it proceeds to next print based on the content of alcohol as you are a sober or you are drunk. Now let us take the DC motor as reference to our vehicle. Whenever the IR is not sensed, the DC motor doesn't rotate. Soon after the IR gets sensed, the DC motor starts to rotate. Now let us consider alcohol sensor and DC motor. Now, if we increase the value of alcohol sensor, the serial monitor shows to be drunk and the DC motor stops rotating, and by decreasing the value of alcohol sensor, it again starts to rotate. Let us look at the working process of our alerting system using GSM SIM module. Since there is requirement of voltage to our module, we have used a voltage regulator to vary the voltages. Whenever the IR sensor senses an alcohol content is low, the GSM has no part involved. When the alcohol content is high and the motor stops rotating, there will be an alerting message to the number uploaded in Arduino program stating that your friend is drunk. Now let us fix the IR sensor into our helmet and look how our system works. Initially, when the helmet is not worn, it tends to show as wear your helmet. When you wear a helmet, the DC motor starts rotating and starts to print either you are drunk or you are sober based on the content of alcohol sensed by the sensor. Now let us see the complete working of prototype with all the connected components to helmet and two-wheeler. IR sensor is placed at the right hand corner of the helmet. Alcohol sensor is placed at the inner part of the helmet. Whenever the helmet is not worn by the person driving, the bike doesn't start. When the person wears the helmet, the bike starts and tends to move forward. And now, if the rider removes the helmet, the vehicle stops automatically and doesn't start unless the helmet is worn back. Now, if the person riding removes the helmet during driving the vehicle, the bike, same as before, stops and need to start once again by wearing the helmet. Now let us see what if the helmet is worn but the value of alcohol sensor is altered. Though the helmet is worn due to increase in the value of alcohol sensor, the vehicle stops and doesn't start back.
रुको किक मार
Now let us see how the vehicle tends to stop initially or at the time of driving if the alcohol content is high according to the values of Indian standards. Let us see how a prototype works with an alerting system. First, let us see how it works with direct exposure to alcohol. When the alcohol gets sensed, the vehicle doesn't start and an alerting message is sent to friend or relative's number to which the vehicle is registered.